Welcome back to the weekly vlog. You joined me in the middle of a technology crisis. Last week my computer decided to totally give up on me, and I mean totally give up on me. I sent it off to a technician who had a look at it and basically the logic board went on it. So long story short, I've actually had to buy a second-hand Mac of exactly the same generation of what I was using before. And at the moment I'm actually trying to get it to work. I'm trying to get all the applications that I usually use onto it. And naturally it's putting up a lot of resistance. So it's like a new computer in that I'm starting from scratch and it runs absolutely fine. But honestly, I can feel the resistance from the technology. I know that it's aware of how much I'm struggling with this. Plenty of cups of tea have been had. And we will get there. We will get there. So appropriately, I've decided to call this computer Serenity. And I've decided to name it after the ship from Firefly because it isn't the newest thing in the world, but it does get the job done. Well, normally it gets the job done. Today it's not doing that, but hopefully I can get it to a point where it will. It's in moments like this when you really realise how much you depend on technology. Okay, I'll admit it, it's all getting a bit much. I've hit the ice cream. The thing is, I know it'll be fine. I know that I'll get the laptop working, but at the moment, it's just not listening to me. I mean, obviously I know that it can't listen to me, not in that way, but it's not doing anything that I tell it to do. I'm having to leave it for a while and keep going back to it. And it's got to the point now where I've hit the ice cream, and it is the birthday cake stuff. It's very tasty still. I feel like I might have to do something to reconnect with the natural world, but first, ice cream. So I'm about to go out and do something I haven't done in a long time. It's actually been about possibly 2 or 3 months actually. I'm heading out to go and get some milk from out Scaffworth way. And yeah, I'm really excited actually. This seems like a good way to reconnect with the world outside of all the technology that I heavily depend upon on a daily basis. So let's go out into the countryside. There we go. So while we're here, we might as well go and have a look and see what the river's doing. And if you remember ages ago, I actually filmed a Q&A here. And it was a beautiful sunny day. And we're almost getting to that time of year again, aren't we? So maybe there's another Q&A on the horizon. Who knows? Look at this. And you know what, honestly, like 10 minutes out here and you just feel like you've forgotten all about your technology related worries. It's great. I'm looking forward to the summer where I can sit here by the river and enjoy the sun. It's not too far away now, is it? Sitting in this studio often feels like being the pilot of the Millennium Falcon. And that might seem like the coolest thing in the world, but in reality, it's quite difficult sometimes. There's so much technology in this room. There's the computer, there's all the recording equipment, there's the speakers, there's displays, there's an amplifier, there's an electric piano. There isn't a great deal of stuff in here that would work without electricity. And not only that, but it's a lot like the Falcon in the sense that if one thing stops working, so does all of it. Which is terrifying, I'll be totally honest with you, because my entire workflow depends on this. And I don't necessarily like that, but some of those are a necessary evil when it comes to making music. A good example is that piano, because that's a digital piano, but I couldn't have an upright piano up here. The cost of tuning it and maintaining it is just far too much, and not only that, but getting it up those stairs would be an absolute nightmare. So having a digital piano means that obviously it stays in tune all the time, it's portable. It's just a much better choice at this point in my life. And obviously in the future I'd quite like to have an upright piano, and I really do enjoy playing them. Anytime I see a piano in public, I will jump on it and start playing it. I just love them. And it is something that I miss in this studio environment. Of course there are things like my tape recorder that I do use as part of the songwriting process. And I know that's still an electronic device, but it's still quite analogue. And obviously I've got the acoustic guitar in a similar way, and that to me always feels like a break from the technology. I know that at a point in history this stuff was cutting edge, but in terms of how I normally work, those feel like a break to me. It feels like a step towards the natural world. And to be honest with you, the thing that startles me about music equipment is how much of it is gear that hasn't really changed a lot. I mean, let's take this particular setup for example. We've got a Vox AC15 amplifier, which I'm pretty sure was invented in the 1960s, and we've got a Strat style electric guitar, which I'm pretty sure is the same sort of era. I really should have fact-checked this, shouldn't I, before I started. But really, the technology of this stuff hasn't evolved a tremendous amount over the years. That's a valve amplifier. I mean, those are the things that used to power televisions. And these are essentially just magnets. And of course they've made advancements, but people don't tend to lean towards them. Obviously there is technology that's cutting edge, like the Kemper amplifiers, they're meant to be incredible. But I guess the subtle irony of this new gear is that they're trying to emulate the older sounds anyway. There's this general feeling that the analog stuff is the best. And that's certainly my opinion as well. I do like the feel of analog gear, and this is like a halfway house. Even though it is older technology, I think there's a good reason why it's still around. Once again, it's a beautiful day to be out and about doing stuff. It's nice to make the most of the weather, even though I am outside for about sort of 40 seconds at a time. It's something. The following evening, Owen invited me out to take some pictures and have a bit of a wander. Now this to me is yet another wonderful combination. You've got the scenic world around you, looking all pretty, and then you're capturing it as best as you can with man-made equipment. Not only that, but walks like this are a great opportunity to clear your head and get out and see things. The next day was my cousin's birthday, which we spent in the beer garden of a pub in Wentworth. This day was a real treat, the perfect blend of good weather, good company, and of course, good cake. I genuinely love birthday cake. Someone should try and make an ice cream flavour out of it. And now, almost a week later, I have actually got this working. It's doing what I want it to do. It has been a bit of a struggle, but it's weeks like this that really make you reevaluate your relationship with technology. And of course, there are definitely scenarios that I can't do without a lot of this stuff. But that's the world we live in, isn't it? It does make things a lot easier, particularly when things work anyway. But at the same time, I do think it's really important to take breaks from it, get away from all this technology. And again, just like my songwriting process, it's stepping away from this which has actually allowed me to solve the problem. That and a tremendous amount of tea. And I mean genuinely, I've had maybe twice as much as I normally would this week. So there is that. And before I go, continuing the theme from last week, let's have a conversation about this. Is there a piece of technology that you use for your work that you couldn't live without? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you next week.